Close your eyes now. Breathe slowly. Let the noise of today fall away like dust from an old scroll. Tonight, we're not staying in this world, not fully. We're slipping through time, past marble ruins and olive groves, past the scent of incense and the clang of bronze, into a realm where gods walk beside mortals, and where most mortals never see either. We begin not with thunder, but with silence. Before stars, before names, before even the idea of before, there was chaos. Not the chaos we know, no shouting crowds, no traffic jams, no midnight anxieties, but chaos with a capital C, a yawning, formless void pregnant with possibility. From that stillness rose Gaia, Earth. Not a planet, not a rock in space, but a presence broad, warm, ancient. She breathed, and from her breath came sky, sea, night, and love. Uranus arched over her, glittering and cold. Together they birthed the Titans, 12 great beings of raw power. But Uranus, proud and fearful, shoved his children back into the dark womb of the earth. And Gaia, trembling with grief and fury, forged a sickle from stone. One son answered her call, Cronus. With a single stroke he severed his father's reign, and from the sea foam of that violence rose Aphrodite. Radiant and terrible, love born from blood, Cronus ruled. He devoured his own children to avoid prophecy. But Rhea, his wife, hid one, Zeus. Raised in secret on Crete, fed by a goat, sung to by nymphs, Zeus grew not just in strength, but in cunning. When the time came, he returned not with a sword, but with a potion. Cronus vomited up gods fully grown, furious, and ready for war. The Titanomachi shook the world. Mountains cracked. Stars blinked in fear. For 10 years old and new clashed, until Zeus descended into Tartarus, freed the Cyclopes and the 100-handed wands, and received his thunderbolt, a shard of sky made weapon. Victory came. The Titans fell. Atlas bore the heavens on his shoulders, not the earth, as the poets later muddled, but the endless dome of stars heavy with silence. And so Olympus rose. Zeus took the sky, Poseidon the sea, Hades the quiet realm below, the earth left to all and to none. And on that earth something was missing. No eyes looked up in wonder. No voices sang to the moon. No hands shaped clay into likeness. So Prometheus, the Titan who thought ahead, knelt by a river bank and molded man from mud. He gave them breath, not just air, but fire. Not just life, but longing. Zeus was furious. Fire was divine. Mortals were meant to tremble, not dream. So he chained Prometheus to a mountain. Each day an eagle tore his liver. Each night it grew back. And each dawn the cycle repeated while below human villages glowed with hearthlight. But Zeus wasn't done. He ordered Hephaestus to craft a woman Pandora beautiful, curious, gifted by every god. To her he gave a jar. Do not open it, he warned. Of course she did. Out poured sorrow, sickness, envy, war, every ill the world had never known. But at the bottom, nestled in the dark, was one last thing. Hope. Not grand hope, not triumphant hope, but the quiet kind, the kind that whispers, try again tomorrow. And so humanity endured. Zeus, meanwhile, couldn't stay on his throne. He wandered the earth as a bull, a swan, golden rain leaving behind heroes, heartbreak, and Hera's wrath. Io turned to a cow. Leda was hunted across islands until Delos, untethered, gave her shelter. Semele burned in divine radiance, yet from her ashes came Dionysus, god of wine and wild joy. Hera, queen of Olympus, goddess of marriage, never struck Zeus directly. She struck his lovers, his children. Heracles, driven mad, slaughtered his own family, then spent 12 labors clawing back his soul. And Athena? She won Athens not with a wave, but with an olive tree. While Poseidon offered salt water useless, dazzling, empty, Athena gave fruit, oil, shade, wisdom over spectacle. But even wisdom has edges. Arachne wove truth into her tapestry gods as flawed, cruel, and fickle. Athena, seeing no flaw in the craft, but insult in the honesty, turned her into a spider, still weaving, forever weaving. Then came the heroes. Perseus, armed with winged sandals and a mirrored shield, beheaded Medusa without meeting her gaze. From her blood sprang Pegasus and a legacy of impossible quests. Theseus entered the labyrinth with a ball of thread, slew the Minotaur, but forgot to change his sails, and his father, seeing black, leapt into the sea that now bears his name. And Narcissus? He fell in love with his own reflection. Not out of vanity alone, but because no one had ever taught him how to be seen and how to see others. Echo, cursed to only repeat, faded into mist, her voice lingering in canyons, still answering, still waiting. All of it, the thunder, the tears, the tangled loves, was watched by the Moirai, the Fates, 3 sisters. One spun the thread of life, one measured its length, one cut it. Even Zeus bowed to their shears, because in the end, gods may rage, but mortals live. And living, truly living, is the bravest myth of all. Now, shift, the stars blur, the lyre falls silent. You open your eyes not on a mountainside, not in a hero's tent, but in a cramped room on the 4th floor of a Roman insula. The air is thick with mildew, sweat, and yesterday's garlic. Your back aches, your blanket itches. Outside, a cart rumbles over cobblestones, and someone yells, "Cave," just before a chamber pot empties onto the street below. Welcome to Rome. Not the Rome of triumphal arches and gilded banquets. The real Rome, the one that smells. You're not a senator, not a soldier. You're a laborer, maybe a freedman, possibly a slave. Your tunic is rough, your sandals worn thin. You have no kitchen, no running water, no privacy. You share your space with 2 others, a rat and the ghost of last winter's cough. Breakfast? A crust of barley bread, dipped in posky vinegar water, sour and thin, but safer than the river. Maybe a spoonful of pulse, that gray porridge that sticks to your ribs like regret. You head out into the street. It's chaos, vendors shouting, donkeys braying, children darting between legs. Flies swarm the fish stalls. The air reeks of garum, that fermented fish sauce Romans pour on everything. You pass a public fountain, fill your jug, and pray the lead pipes haven't poisoned you yet. Work begins at dawn. You haul stones for a villa you'll never enter. You mix mortar with blistered hands. If you're lucky, you get paid in copper coins. If you're a slave, you get a bowl of scraps and a beating if you slow down. At midday, you might visit the baths not for luxury, but because it's the only place to scrape the grime off your skin with a strigil. You'll share the steam with senators and beggars alike, all naked, all equal for a moment, until someone steals your tunic. Religion isn't optional. You mutter prayers to the Lares before leaving home. You toss a coin into a roadside shrine. During the Lemuria, you walk barefoot at midnight, spitting black beans to ward off hungry ghosts. You don't do it because you're devout. You do it because you're afraid, and in Rome, fear and faith wear the same face. Justice? There is none for you. Accused of theft? You'll be tortured until you confess. Owed money? Your creditor can sell you. Fall ill? No doctor comes. You'll die in your corner, and if your family can't afford a burial club, your body goes into the Puticuli, a mass grave outside the city, lime-covered, nameless. And yet, you persist. You share bread with your neighbor. You sing to your child. You watch the sunset from your rooftop, where the air is cleanest. You dream not of Olympus, but of a quieter street, a full belly, a day without pain. You are forgotten by history. No poet will sing your name. No statue will bear your face. But you are the reason Rome stands. The aqueducts flow because you laid the stones. The grain ships dock because you unloaded them. The emperors feast because you built their tables. You are the silent pulse beneath the empire's roar. So tonight, as you lie in your soft bed under clean sheets, with medicine in your cabinet and light at your fingertips, remember, you didn't earn this ease. You inherited it from backs that broke, hands that bled, lives that ended in alleys and pits. Thank a peasant, because without them none of us would be here. And now sleep. Let the myths fade. Let the streets grow quiet. Let the stars watch over you, not as gods, but as witnesses. You are safe. For tonight, that is enough. Thanks for joining us on this journey. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next story. Sleep well